Hello everybody, Jalen Greene here, and today I wanted to speak about the topic of forgiving others. There is power, true power, in forgiveness. A lot of us struggle with forgiving people or situations because there's like a hurt attached to that. There's a real resentment that builds up when you choose not to forgive. I heard this quote once, and I'm not sure exactly where it came from, but it basically says how when you hold on to resentment, it's like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. You're not really serving yourself. You're not really allowing yourself to heal, which is what forgiveness is all about. Forgiveness isn't something that should be forced on you. Forgiveness is something that should come naturally from a place of love, from a place of, I truly want to move on with my life. And that's not to say that people or situations, that it's easy. Sometimes we've been hurt in ways that others don't know about. We've been damaged, we've been traumatized, and forgiving the situation or the person is almost, you feel like in your heart you're letting them have a pass, or you're letting them like get away with what they did. But it's actually not for them at all. It's for you. It's actually 100% for you. It's a healing process. It's therapeutic, and it'll improve the quality of your life if you choose to forgive more often than you do holding on to it, or being angry, or being resentful. I have a story I want to tell you all. I want to say about a year ago, or maybe a couple years ago. It was around the holiday season. I decided to throw a party or a gathering, get together, whatever you want to call it, for my apartment complex. Now, during the time, I don't live there currently, but the people that ran the building, they weren't exactly the nicest people. They were kind of like, not slumlords, but it was like they didn't really care about the tenants. It was one of those places where, the person that ran it lived overseas or something like that, and they just wanted to collect checks. They weren't really in it to build a community. So I took it upon myself to say, hey, you know what? This is a perfect situation to foster community, foster friendship, have people meet each other. So I decided to host this party. And this was the first time that I actually did something like this. So I was pretty excited. I really, went really hard with this. I created a flyer. I actually got a committee together of about 6 people, 6 of the people I knew in the building that wanted to help me. But overall, the people that ran the building, they were just fighting me like the whole way. They were trying not to make it happen. They were giving me excuses. And I could tell you more. Maybe that's for another video. But long story short, it didn't end up being what I wanted it to be. It ended up being a small gathering in my own apartment unit. And the people that run the building, they were really like nasty. And it just wasn't a conducive environment to do it again. And that really left me with a lot of resentment. And I carried that for months. I was just angry with the people that ran the building. I was kind of mad. I wanted to move, all these other things. But through my meditation practice, I actually came to a point later where I was like, you know what? I'm going to choose to forgive them. Not because they deserve it. And that's the emphasis I want to put. It's not because they deserved it. It was for me. It was for my own mental health. It's for my own physical health. And after I chose to forgive them and just release it, I felt a lot better. And overall, I learned an important lesson that I would never let any situation or person have that type of power over me ever again. And I actually learned from it and I grew from it. And honestly, I feel like it was meant to happen that way. I chose to learn from forgiving versus just holding it in. And now I'll forgive for anything. I forgive for the smallest thing, big or small, because I know it's like, oh no, I'm not gonna hold this in. I'm not taking this in my spirit. Let's release it, let's grow from it, and let's move on. Yeah, And that's the message I want to impart with you today. Choose to forgive. Not because the situation or the people deserve it, but it's for you and you alone. And it's going to foster growth, and it's going to foster you just being an all-around, more well-rounded person. Thank you all for listening to my message. God bless you, and have a great day.